to MA. F equal to MA, right? So I told you before, when you see a formula, simple formula, so you must be able to identify which one is the responding variable. Okay, F equal to MA. So the F is called the net force. Okay, so F net equal to MA, right? Equal to MA. So I say among these three, right? We call them as like variables, variables. So among these three, which one is the responding variable? Which one is responding variable? Vision? 哪一个是? If you say F, raise your hand. Say F, raise your hand. Okay. And then say M, raise your hand. Responding variable. And then if you say A is the responding variable, raise your hand. Okay. A is the responding variable. Okay. So what is this A? A is the accelerations. A is called the accelerations. So you imagine you have a floor that is very smooth. The floor is very smooth. Normally you say smooth lah. And then it's having a mass m kg. Okay. And then when you are applying a force to pull the mass, what happened to the mass? Then you say the mass will move. The mass will start to move, right? When the mass started to move because it's on the smooth surface, so it will experience an acceleration A. So when you apply the force, this is something like manipulated force, correct or not? You can decide how much the force you want to apply, and then responding variable will behave, will respond. So it start to move. So this A is called the responding variable. You catch what I say or not? Right? So when you look at the formula, you must be able to identify which one is the responding variable. Okay, so if I said A is the responding variable, so the A now can be written as what? F net divided by M. F net divided by M. Okay, so the F net is called the what? It can be the force that you apply, right? You apply, and then the mass, can you change or not? You can actually change the mass if you want. You say, I wanted to do it on the 1 kg mass. I wanted to do it on 5 kg mass. I want to do it on the 8 kg mass. Okay, so you can change. So that means you can, this can be your manipulated variable, and the F net can be your manipulated variable. But these two cannot be the manipulated variables at the same time. Okay, so it can be like this. When the F is the manipulated variable, 当你的 F 是你的操纵性变数, right? And then this one got to be your fixed variable. You have to fix your mass, then you change your force. And then next, when your mass is your manipulated variable, then this one is going to be your fixed variable. You know what I say? 会知道老师在讲什么吗? If you don't know, raise your hand. Michelle? 可以吗？明白哈? Okay, so from here, right? So it's now it's forming a new equations, and equations we can make it into a relationship. A is directly proportional to the net force, and then acceleration is inversely proportional to the mass. You know what I'm talking about? 知道在讲什么吗? The force you can decide. If you apply the higher the force, the acceleration is going to be higher. So that means if I put acceleration over here, this is the F net force, right? So theoretically, it's going to be a line like this, directly proportional. So this is called A is directly proportional to the net force. And then for the other one, this is the mass you manipulate, right? So your acceleration is going to be what? Your acceleration is going to be like this. This is called inversely proportional. When the mass is increasing, then your acceleration will be decreasing. Of course, when in this case your force is fixed, 这个时候你的 force 是固定的 force. And in this case, your mass is constant. Mass constant or fixed. Okay, so this one is force net equal to constant or fixed. ？Yeah, understand？明白哈？用了可以吗？可以啊。好，so then the next thing I'm going to talk will be what is the net force? Okay, so you see the case here, right? I say smooth surface. When the surface is smooth, whatever force that you apply, right? If you apply the force is called the net force. 当它的表面是滑的时候，你用一个力来拉它的话，那么你所用的力就是 net force 来的。Okay, and then doesn't matter. I can post this in the group. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about net force. All right, so the surface is smooth. The surface is smooth, and then I'm putting a block on top of it. This one I'm giving like revision, so that you will be more aware of what is called the net force there. Okay, so the surface here is smooth, right? So I'm pulling it with a force of 12 newtons forward, and then at the same time I'm pulling it from the back with another force of 8 newtons, and the mass is 3 kg. Okay, so in this case, right, what is the net force that's acting on this system now? What is the net force? So the net force is going to be the total of the force. If you read the definition on the notes, right, it say net force is what is the total of a force or the resultant force. You add up all the forces vectorially. So the force going to the right is 12. You add out another force to the left is -4, right? So it's 12 minus 4 is equal to 8 newtons. So that means this system is equivalent to what? Equivalent to what a single force. 它就是相等于了一个单一的力 and that force is acting in what directions? When you add out the total of the forces, right? So you only get one force, and that force we call that as what? How much? Only 8 newtons. Okay, how to get the 8 newtons? We add the force vectorially. 我们是以 vector 的方式把它加起来。8 newtons. Okay, I draw it slightly shorter lah. You add out 2, you get shorter one. You catch what I say, no? You can add out the force. Okay, then we are talking about smooth surface, right? Then it may come to another case like this. So the third case, right? When you're pulling it to the right, and then you're pulling to the left, at the same time, it is encountering another frictional force, or let's say is 3 newtons. This is frictional force. Okay, so what will be the net force now? So the net force must be added vectorially. Okay, so 12 newtons to the right plus -4 newtons, okay, plus -3 newtons. So 12 minus 7, so it's 5 newtons. So that means this one you will get a force to the right, which is 5 newtons. The net force is 5 newtons. 明白讲什么了没有? So you add up all the forces vectorially, you get a single force. Okay, so after you get the net force, right, then we can use the formula. Acceleration can be determined by using the F net divided by the mass. So what is the net force? In this case, is 8 newtons divided by 3, right? 那么你就拿到什么了？2.326， so it's 2.67 meter per second in this case, right? And then this case, right? A equal to F net divided by the mass, which is equal to 5 divided by 3. So it's 1.67 meter per second. So in this case, we make the mass fixed. 我们固定了它的 mass. So the acceleration is directly proportional to the net force. So can you see the first case, 8 newtons is high, acceleration is high, right? 8 newtons, you get 2.6. And then for the second case, 5 newtons, you get 1.67, right? 如果你的 net force 少了，你的 acceleration 就少了。Simple, right? So physics is that simple. 真的。OK 啊，好。So we talk about this F equal to ma already, right? Then now we wanted to go into another subtopic today. This one is just like revise what you have learned last week.